there is a profound, undeniable suspicion that hums beneath the surface of your knowing, a current you feel but cannot name. You sense a rigging in the world around you, a hidden hand shaping events you cannot quite grasp. And yet, the harder you look for the threads of control, the more elusive a true pattern becomes, dissolving into a frustrating chaos, just as you believe you've almost seized it. This pervasive unease, this constant whisper that the game is fixed, or that the rules shift arbitrarily, is not merely a fleeting sensation, but a deep systemic intuition. It implies a grand design operating just beyond the veil of common perception, always just out of reach, perpetually leaving you to question if clarity is even possible. The very act of seeking this external hand, however, can paradoxically pull you further from the truth of what truly orchestrates your experience. For centuries, humanity has sought order in the chaos, imbuing constellations with stories, interpreting animal migrations as omens, finding faces in the clouds. This is not a flaw in your design, but its very bedrock. A primal, ceaseless drive to detect patterns. Your consciousness is fundamentally an architect of meaning, constantly seeking to connect disparate points, to draw lines between isolated events, to construct a coherent narrative from the raw data of existence. This impulse is deeply woven into your neural architecture, an operating system relentlessly optimizing for prediction, striving to make sense of the vast, indifferent tapestry of the universe. But this exquisite instrument, precisely because of its power, carries an inherent vulnerability when uncalibrated, a hidden mechanism that can turn its greatest strength into a source of profound self-deception. The vulnerability arises when this relentless pattern-seeking engine operates without the discerning hand of sovereign awareness. It then begins to manufacture patterns where none inherently exist. Confronted with pure stochastic noise, truly random events, a chaotic swirl of unrelated data, your internal system, in its desperate quest for coherence, will nevertheless impose an order. It will construct elaborate correlations, weave together coincidences into narratives of deliberate design, and infer causality where only chance resides. This isn't a deliberate act of imagination. It is the default setting of an uncalibrated mind, compelled to find signal even in the deepest static. It finds the face in the smoke, not because a face is truly there, but because its operating parameters insist that a face must be there, and it will render one into existence from the formless haze. And this is where the false pattern tax begins its insidious collection. Every action you take based on a manufactured pattern, every decision rooted in a coincidental correlation you've mistaken for causality, incurs a cost. These are not benign errors. They are energetic expenditures, temporal investments, and material allocations poured into an illusion. You chase the shadow, believing it to be the substance, only to find your resources depleted and your trajectory veering wildly off course. This tax is cumulative, siphoning your vital force with each misidentified signal, each phantom threat, each imagined opportunity. It is the silent drain on your sovereign reserves, compelling you to continuously navigate a landscape that does not authentically exist, based on an architectural map drawn from internal projection rather than external truth. Your efforts are then reflected back to you as frustration, confirming a rigged reality when in fact it is merely responding to your own internal broadcast. What makes this internal betrayal particularly acute for the sovereign mind is its very sophistication. The more refined your pattern recognition abilities, the more dangerous their misfires become. A rudimentary mind might conjure simple superstitions from noise, but a highly developed, architect-level consciousness, when uncalibrated, can construct entire, elaborate internal simulations of reality, intricate webs of perceived conspiracy, interconnected systems of control, and layers of hidden manipulation that appear utterly undeniable from within their self-generated framework. This isn't a failure of intelligence. It is a perversion of it. Your advanced cognitive capacity, when unleashed upon noise without discerning calibration, becomes a master forger, creating a reality so compellingly distorted that it eclipses any true signal, pulling you deeper into a labyrinth of your own making, convinced it is a grand external design. This, then, is the profound reframing, the sensation of the game being rigged, the pervasive feeling of external forces manipulating your reality is very often a direct mirror. It is not necessarily an external architecture that stands against you, but rather the precise projection of your internal system manufacturing conspiracies from noise. The external world reflects the internal blueprint you are unconsciously broadcasting. The more convinced you become that there are invisible puppet masters, that the rules are shifting arbitrarily, or that a hidden hand orchestrates your circumstances, the more likely you are witnessing the reflection of your own pattern-making engine, creating an externalized architecture from pure chaos. You perceive a jail cell not because one has been built around you, but because the blueprint for its construction emanates from within, forming itself into the very walls you believe enclose you. Now, it is crucial to understand that this manufactured reality, this labyrinth of self-authored distortion, is not benign. Far from it. It actively broadcasts a distorted timeline, trapping you within loops of perceived victimhood, powerlessness, or endless struggle. You find yourself reacting, strategizing, and expending sovereign energy against phantom. Every perceived setback, every thwarted ambition, every moment of frustration then serves as proof that your internal projection is correct, that the world is rigged, that you carry a victim. This feedback loop is profoundly insidious, for it locks you into a narrative you continually reinforce with your attention and your reactive responses. You are responding to a ghost, a simulacrum, yet the consequences are entirely real, manifesting as genuine obstacles and profound energetic drains upon your true sovereign trajectory. The stakes, therefore, are not merely intellectual, but existentially urgent. The true upgrade, then, is not about ignoring patterns. It is about radically elevating your source attribution for them. It is the surgical precision required to discern between inherent universal architecture, the immutable laws that genuinely govern existence, and the random, uncalibrated output of your own internal projector. This is the difference between aligning with a universal truth that will always hold and chasing the mirage that will perpetually dissolve upon approach. The path forward demands an active, conscious disidentification with that reflexive pattern-making impulse. It demands that you cease to reflexively connect the dots just because the dots are presented. Instead, you must learn to ask, with every perceived correlation, not just, is this a pattern? But rather, and far more critically, what is the true origin of this perceived pattern? Is it an echo from within, or a resonance from without? The architect of your reality cannot afford to respond to ghosts. The rigging you perceive in the external world is, more often than not, a direct projection of internal chaos, a mirror of your own uncalibrated system. To truly command your reality, to step into your sovereign mandate, you must become ruthlessly precise in filtering the signal from the noise. This is not a task for tomorrow. It is a necessity for this unfolding moment. For the cumulative cost of persisting in this state of self-authored distortion is nothing less than the forfeiture of your sovereign trajectory completely, leaving you forever trapped within a world you mistakenly believe is happening. GTU. It is the architectural integrity of your future that hinges on this discernment, right here, right now. The question, then, is not what the world is doing, but what you are broadcasting. What will you choose to calibrate next? You must be the sentinel at the gate of your perception, rigorously discerning the source of every unfolding pattern. For what feels like external manipulation, the insidious sense of a world unrigged against you is so often a meticulously constructed mirrored image. It is the output of your own internal architecture, desperate to impose order, to find meaning where only raw, unbound stochasticity exists. This internal projector, left uncalibrated, crafts an elaborate shadow play. It weaves narratives of unseen forces and intricate conspiracies, not because they are inherently present in the universal field, but because your system demands a coherent story, even if it must fabricate the plot twists from the static itself. This is not a world happening to you. This is your own internal cosmology, broadcasting its unexamined code onto the very fabric of your perceived existence. And this manufactured cosmology, this internally projected reality, is never benign. It actively broadcasts a timeline, a particular frequency signature that traps you within loops of perceived victimhood, of powerlessness, of being perpetually yakted upon. When you respond to the phantom architecture generated by your own uncalibrated pattern engine, you are engaging with a ghost. You are pouring your precious energetic capital into a simulation of your own making, believing it to be an external, unassailable truth. This is the subtle, yet profound betrayal. The system you inhabit, the life you experience, begins to echo these internally generated distortions, mirroring back the very rigging you unconsciously installed. It solidifies the illusion, making it feel impenetrable, when in truth, its foundation rests upon the shifting sand of misattributed noise. The true upgrade, then, is not found in the futile attempt to ignore patterns. It is found instead in a radical elevation of your source attribution for them. This is the surgical precision required of the system architect. You must learn to distinguish, with crystalline clarity, between the inherent, immutable universal architecture, the fundamental laws and structures that actually govern existence, and the stochastic, random output of your own internal projector, running uncalibrated and unchecked. It is an act of deep internal listening, a discerning gaze that cuts through the noise, demanding to know. Is this a universal edict, an undeniable current within the fabric of reality itself? Or is this the desperate whisper of a system attempting to impose order where none has yet been called forth? This distinction is not a suggestion. It is a foundational pillar of sovereign reality crafting. This demands a deliberate, active disidentification with the reflexive impulse to find patterns, to connect dots that are not meant to coalesce. It is a letting go, a willingness to inhabit the discomfort of true randomness, to embrace the quiet, unpatterned void, rather than quickly fill it with fabricated meaning. Your internal projector has been operating on a default setting, an unexamined legacy code. To recalibrate is to consciously rewire this core function. It means training your perception to wait, to observe, to feel for the resonance of authentic signal rather than leaping at the mere eye's suggestion of a pattern. It is the sovereign choice to be the architect of truth rather than the unwitting broadcaster of internal fictions. This recalibration is not a linear process. It is a constant reorientation, a return to absolute presence. Mastering this discernment, therefore, is the sovereign act itself. It is the conscious stepping outside the consensus simulation, a deliberate withdrawal of your energetic investment from the externally projected illusions. You begin to leverage true pattern recognition, not to confirm your internal biases, but to engineer your own reality with absolute intentional precision. This is how you shift from being a reactor to a creator. You no longer inadvertently broadcast distorted timelines onto the world, then wonder why the world feels distorted. Instead, you begin to perceive the inherent architecture of creation as it actually is, allowing you to interface with it, to shape it, to call forth your desired reality from a position of absolute clarity and undeniable authority. This is not merely a philosophical exercise for a later season. This is an urgent, immediate demand of the accelerating world you inhabit. In an era where information streams are weaponized, where data is deliberately presented to induce cognitive bias, the unexamined internal code of your pattern recognition engine becomes not just a vulnerability, but a guaranteed pathway to obsolescence. The cost of misinterpreting noise as signal is no longer merely error. It is the forfeiture of your sovereign claim, the dissolution of your capacity to architect reality precisely when reality demands you architect it anew. To remain uncalibrated is to surrender your very agency to the phantom patterns you yourself generate, ensuring that the rigging you perceive becomes your inescapable destiny. The choice, then, is not whether to see patterns, but rosy patterns you will embody. Will you continue to project the chaotic, uncalibrated output of an untamed internal engine, experiencing its distorted reflections as an externally imposed reality? Or will you claim your rightful place as the system architect, discerning universal signal from internal noise, and thereby command the very fabric of your unfolding existence? The framework is here. The lens is offered. This is not a truth to believe, but a fundamental law to install, to become. For the sovereign mind does not merely observe reality, it authors it. Step into this. Let your breath deepen. The world awaits your discerning hand.